we're starting to hear the actual figures that Europe is planning on doing when it comes to tariffs and EVs from China.
The European Union has warned it would hit Chinese electric cars with import taxes as high as 38% from next month.
That's despite concerns from the German government it could trigger a costly trade war with Beijing.
One thing you need to understand is that very few people like this tariff. China is super unhappy about it. In a statement released by China's Ministry of Commerce, the European Commission is described as arbitrarily creating and exaggerating China's subsidy items, as well as abusing the facts available. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said that we urge the EU to act on its commitment to supporting free trade and opposing protectionism, and work with us to uphold the overall economic and trade cooperation between the two sides. China will take all measures necessary to firmly defend our lawful rights and interests. And Europe's business community isn't thrilled as well. Dutch EV charging station developer Fasten BV said China bringing affordable and attractive vehicles to the region is good news. It doesn't matter to us in that sense where those cars are coming from.
We have always spoken out against the tariff from e-cars from China because they don't solve the challenges for the European automotive industry, for the German automotive industry.
So, why the tariff? The two P's, protectionism and politics.
The paradigm has shifted where it's not all about consumers anymore. It's not all about efficiency, getting the cheapest product to consumers or the cheapest, best product into the hands of consumers. There's an effort to say, well, we want redundancy, we want resilience, we want security, we want to have our own industry in key sectors, even if it means imposing a cost on.
There might be some legitimacy to this argument, but only to a certain extent. EU plans to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. A key step is to have at least 30 million zero-emission cars on the roads by 2030 and ban new petrol car sales by 2035. Naturally, officials would want to save that market for their own business. But based on research, Europe needs to see an almost 50-fold increase in zero-emission cars in circulation on the roads between 2020 and 2030 to achieve its goal. And as it happens, the EU depends on the Chinese products to do it. From EV battery production and charging stations to the number of vehicles produced, Europe lacks the ability to achieve this massive transition it set out without Chinese products. According to a Bloomberg report in April, Chinese car makers are more competitive thanks to technology, local supply chains, brand new transport infrastructure, and lower energy costs and land costs. China leads the EU and the US in peer-reviewed publications on green technology. Simply put, Europe is shooting itself in the foot with the tariffs. Now, about politics. First, saying this tariff is about politics is not an accusation, it is admitted. According to Politico, one European Commission official said that for all the talk of an evidence-based solution that is compliant with global trade rules, it is a political decision. Ursula von der Leyen, the current president of the European Commission, was famously known as Europe's American president. She is said to be very compliant to the US government while ignoring her own people. Her former boss and mentor Angela Merkel even told her once, "Don't forget to talk to us." In May, the Biden administration announced a 100% tariff on China's EVs. Now, von der Leyen came out with her own version. Very Europe's American president, isn't it? But we also have to remember that all politics is local. Several days before June 5th, which was the day the tariff was originally reported to be announced, Reuters ran a piece with sources saying that the tariff announcement might be postponed until after the European Parliament election due to last-minute technical issues with the document. What is this technical issue? Well, around the same time Reuters' piece was published, news came out saying that von der Leyen's re-election bid was hanging by a thread at the time. Her courtship with Italy's right-wing Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni angered her center-left coalition partners in Brussels, the Socialists and Democrats, and the Renew. And these three parties have a very interesting mix of attitudes towards China. Meloni, like von der Leyen, is very pro-US. She has not been friendly with China, but she wants Chinese investments to boost Italy's domestic car production. The S&D is led by the Spanish politician Iriarte Garcia Perez. Chinese carmaker Chery had set up its first European manufacturing site in Spain in 2024. Spanish PM Pedro Sanchez said around 400 million euros will be invested in this plant. Then the Renew, a liberal group, is led by the party of French President Emmanuel Macron. He's often seen as the pro-China Western leader in today's international politics. He welcomes Chinese investments in electric vehicles and batteries in France. But the French government has been a strong advocate for the investigation and the tariff. Is there a connection? Has the tariff been used in political horse trade to save von der Leyen's political future? We can't give a definitive yes, but we certainly can't rule out no. So what sense does the tariff make? It makes sense in that it is born out of a rising protectionism and EU politics. It might be great politically, but not a good policy. So, you tell me, would you make such a decision?